Hello there. This is Carla Calloway, the metaphysical entertainer. How are you doing? Today I want to talk about the law of attraction and how it really works. There's a lot of information out there, out in the media about the law of attraction. We have that movie, The Secret, which is a very shallow representation of the law of attraction. We have people like Steve Harvey talking about it, Oprah, Ellen, Deepak Chopra. Anyone has, in the metaphysical or spiritual community, has brought up this topic. And it's very confusing, and it has a lot of people very discouraged. People say, if I'm positively focusing, why are bad things still coming up in my life? If I was not a match to the car accident because I was thinking good thoughts and I was trying to be happy and trying to be peaceful, why was I a match to the car accident? Why was I a match to the cancer diagnosis? Why was I a match to the bad grade? Why was I a match to getting fired? These are things that we don't understand in the law of attraction because that was not explained in The Secret. Honestly, I watched The Secret and I was just so disappointed. I'm like, are you serious? I need to write down my dreams, and I need to write down that I want a dream home, and I need to focus on a diamond necklace, and I'll get a diamond necklace. Are you serious? That has nothing to do with who we really are as people. We are mind, we are body, and we are emotional body. The Secret didn't even speak to any of those three aspects of who we are. So let's talk about that for real, shall we? The law of attraction is essentially a law of mirroring. Whatever is in your energetic field, whether it's good or bad, that is what you are going to reflect in your visual reality. If you think of the universe as a hologram, because we do live in a holographic universe, so all of the parts are contained in the whole, and the whole is contained in all of the parts. Have you ever seen pictures of galaxies and certain parts of the universe and certain planets that look just like certain body parts? Have you seen that? There is a galaxy that looks like an eye. There, when you zoom way out, and you can see as much of the universe as the satellites can cover, then it looks like a neuron. There are parts of a flower that look like a cell. Everything looks like each other. Everything mirrors each other. We are mirroring the universe, and the universe is mirroring us. And so the law of attraction is simply your world mirroring back to you who you are and what's inside of you. Now, we need to talk about the shadow side, though, for just a minute, because that's what gets us discouraged and gets us confused about the law of attraction. If you're not familiar with what the shadow self is, listen to my podcast entitled Authenticity. I go into depth and detail about describing the shadow side, but the shadow side is basically your subconscious mind. It's the part of you that you've relegated to the dark, that you've banished into the darkness because it's been rejected. It's been rejected by your parents, by you as you were growing up, and by society in general. You learned at a very young age what was acceptable and what was not acceptable. So the parts that were acceptable, you integrated them into your personality, and the parts that were unacceptable, you banished them, abandoned them, and suppressed them into your subconscious mind. And that aspect of yourself has no choice but to come out in in different areas. The reason why it's called a shadow is because you can't see it very well. You just can't see it clearly. It's like behind you, and it's reflecting these weird angles, and you really don't know what's going on until you turn around and look directly at it. So the law of attraction is going to mirror your shadow side just as well as it's going to mirror what you're consciously trying to think about. Think good thoughts, think good thoughts, think good thoughts, think good thoughts. That doesn't always work. That's not going to work if your shadow side is like, no, honey, you're going to think about me. You're going to think about your trauma. You're going to think about your pain. You're going to think about your abandonment. See, your shadow side just wants you to look at it. It just wants you to pay attention to it and say, hello, I exist. I am not a monster. I am not an alien. I am you. And I just want you to integrate me into your psyche, into your consciousness, into your life. And I don't want to be shamed. And I don't want to be abandoned. And I don't want to be shushed. And I don't want to be rejected. I just want to be accepted. And I just want to be loved. So what's going to happen is the law of attraction is going to continue to bring up aspects of your trauma and aspects of things that you have rejected over and over and over again until you turn around and look at your shadow side. And Secret certainly didn't talk about that, but that's what's really happening. Also, we have different frequencies in our vibration. You can think of it as a radio dial, but the radio dial has different faders. So like right now I'm sitting in a studio and I'm looking at the boards and the mixing console. I have 2 mics. I have 5 Q faders. I have a monitor fader and I have a headphone fader. All of these are on different levels, but it's all in the same board and it's all the same console. So think of yourself that way. You are one person, but you have different aspects of your life. So let's say you have a really good frequency when it comes to work. So you're very optimistic about work. You're very confident when it comes to work and when it comes to getting jobs and doing well at your jobs. So you're always finding jobs, you're always getting promoted in jobs, you're always doing well in jobs. So that's one fader, that's one frequency. But then you have your frequency in regards to relationships. And what if your frequency in regards to relationships is that of hopelessness and despair? Then that means you're always getting abandoned in relationships, you're always feeling misunderstood, you're always afraid, you're always feeling like you're not going to find the right person. You see how those are 2 different frequencies, but you're the same person. So that's why you can't let these shallow, broad-stroked definitions of the law of attraction get you discouraged, because it's not just one aspect. Don't oversimplify yourself. You are mind, body, and emotional body. All 3 of them are holding their own frequency. Your mind. If you are someone who is very intelligent, you do very well at school, you never have a problem with grades, that's one frequency. But a lot of times what will happen is where your one part of you is really, really, confident and charming and excellent and off the charts, the other parts of you will compensate. So have you noticed that, people who are really, really smart, they have a tendency to come down with certain diseases, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis. What's the one where the bucket challenge was for? Yes. So that's one of the diseases that people who are very intelligent tend to get. It's interesting. So people who are very intelligent tend to attract certain bodily diseases more so than people who are of average intelligence. It's very interesting because your entire self, as manifested in physicality, it seeks balance. So there's no such thing as a superhuman. That was one of the rules. We agreed upon this, all right? We agreed that there would be no such thing as a superhuman who's perfect in all aspects, mind, body, and emotional body. There will be no such thing as someone who has it all together in every single aspect. We also agreed that when one part of you was below average, the other part of you would compensate by being above average. And you see that happening a lot. You see a very beautiful person who is very insecure when it comes to relationships. Well, how is that even possible? That's because the emotional body is compensating for the body. You see a very intelligent person who has no social skills. Well, that is the emotional body compensating for the mind. So you see how everything compensates for everything else? Everything is beautiful when you look at it the right way. Everything is right. There is nothing wrong with you. So when you see the law of attraction from that point of view, doesn't that give you more hope in the sense of, oh, okay, so I have someone in my life who's kind of a passive aggressive person. Well, that means that there's something in my psyche, whether it's my shadow side, whether it's my emotional body, there's something there that is passive aggressive. And that passive aggressive aspect of myself needs to be loved. That's why it's showing up in my reality, because it wants my attention and it wants my love. So I'm going to go ahead and give it some love. I'm going to go ahead and say, you have been passive aggressive in the past, or you're passive aggressive sometimes for a reason. And those reasons are justified. I am completely here with you now. You are at peace. Everything will be okay. And every time something negative shows up in your reality, you deal with it that way. Instead of getting angry, instead of internalizing or externalizing or projecting. Well, actually, everybody projects. But instead of projecting and calling someone else a jerk and blaming the person, you look within and you say, what is it in me that needs my attention right now? What is it about me that's trying to get me to see that I am this way, that I can be this way sometimes? And you know what happens when you start looking at things that way? You stop being judgmental. Because you see people as individuals, but you also see everyone as one. Like we are all one, and we're just reflecting each other in this beautiful, multi-dimensional holographic universe. And there are several dimensions, but we only have access to 3 when we're awake. When we go into sleep, we have access to other dimensions. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about that, but I'm fascinated by that topic, and I'm doing research on it now. Well, that's going to be that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I had to say about the law of attraction. Check out my other podcasts on my website, ccanomaly.wordpress.com. My Facebook is Carla Calloway. My Twitter is also Carla Calloway. My Instagram is carcal814. See you later. Have a good day.